of the Wayans brothers. She might be just the outtake. Okay.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
Good morning. Welcome to the Taylor Tilton Show. I'm Christie Taylor, and this is
Tina Tilton, you guys. Good morning to you. And hey, Christie, good morning.
Good morning, Tina. And you know something? I really thought, hey, good morning, Sandra Wilson. Thank you so much.
She's already there. Cool. Good morning.
Yeah, I know. She is like head of the class today, and we are excited about this Taylor Tilton Tuesday. And on Tuesdays, you have a double dose of podcast and television shows, and the Taylor Tilton Show is brought to you by...
You already know. Christie Taylor Consulting. That's your company, Christie. And the Podcast Center. That would be my company. We got companies, girl.
We got company. And matter of fact, we've got Corey D. Garcia in the house. Good morning, everybody. He says,
Hey, Corey.
let me tell you.
I can't hear you.
Last Friday. Can you hear me now? Please. We are not having these technical today. We're going to push through. We're going to keep it chatty. And Tina.
Yes, I do hear you now. Oh, Lord. I cannot hear you. I don't hear anything. You're blank. Okay, if you're wanting to keep it chatty, I don't know how much we're going to chat because I cannot hear
you. Know something? Today is a Wi-Fi issue. That's why, Tina, you just go ahead and handle everything. I'm just going to jump in when Xfinity Comcast said I can't. All I'm trying to say is, what a weekend, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we're not going to fight today. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. So,
oh my gosh. You know what? You may have to change your Wi-Fi password.
I may have to do that again.
Yeah. They'll tell me someone hacked you like they hacked me about 3 or 4 months ago. As a matter of fact, this is the month that we need to change our password. So, babe, husband, we need to change our password. I said every 3 months, we're going to change that thing because y'all don't act right. Stealing Wi-Fi. Who does that? Well, I suppose thieves do that, huh? Well, anyway.
What a weekend
okay.
Indeed. And I thought I was going to be struggling, but I have been sipping on my cayenne peppered orange juice. And I've got some Little Debbie fig bars today. I'm not doing my oatmeal, but I am doing some Little Debbie fig bars. Have you had breakfast, Tina?
I have, and I am eating on my oatmeal now too, because you know who fixed it for me. I got my breakfast back, my breakfast in bed. It's back.
Oh,
my
oatmeal, I love that.
My bacon, my eggs. Oh yeah. But you know what? May I start out with this What a Weekend's series or special today? Because Friday was very interesting. Okay, so wait a minute. Friday morning. Okay, yeah. Friday morning, I remember taking Olivia to school. And when I was headed back home, I received a text message. Now, if you can recall, last Tuesday when we were online, I said, my washing machine went out. And so, and so the man, he texted and was like, I'm headed to your home now to repair your washer. I said, okay, well, I'm headed home too. Met him in a driveway. But when I get in, because all right, I got to backtrack a little bit too. I've had an ear infection. Hold on. This is Memphis. I had an infection. I've had an infection for about it has been about 7 days now, but I have to put drops in my ear 3 times a day for 10 days. So I still have 3 days to go to put drops in my ear. So when I got home, I said, "Oh, okay. Hey, here's the laundry room. Help yourself." And I went back into my bedroom and put those 4 drops in my ear, and I already know that I have to cock my head to the left. I'm sorry, to the right, so that because it's my left ear, I already know that I have to cock my head to the right so that it can drain, because that's what the doctor told me to do. And at some point, the repairman, he needed me for something. He was like, "Excuse me, ma'am." And I said, "Oh my goodness, I gotta go back out there." So I went back in. I went in the
With
laundry
your
room where he
head
was,
cocked?
with my
Did you
head
walk in
tilted to the right. Yes, I'm like, yes. I know you should have seen his eyes. And I said to myself, "Oh Lord, he gonna be all right. Ain't nothing wrong with me." But but he attempted to describe to me what was wrong with the washer and the motor and this and that. Like I cared. I really didn't care. I just wanted it repaired. But nonetheless, I could just tell that he really wanted to ask me, "Now, was your head like that when you first came? Your head wasn't like that at first. What's wrong with you?" And I hope she's not having a stroke or something. I mean, really, that's what his eyes looked like. Even though he had a mask on, I could still tell under his mask that his eyes were like, "What in the world wrong with this lady?" And it was just so funny. But I just proceeded to keep talking to him. I'm like, "Okay," and I went on back to my room until he finished. But I had
First
to
of
tell
all,
the message. I said, my sister and my mom, they laughed at me, said, "Girl," I said, "well, I had to put it in my ear. I gotta get my ear better." And it feels a lot better. At one point, I couldn't even lie down on that left ear. It hurt so bad. But
oh wow.
at least so I'm able to at least lie down on that ear now, even though I had to go to the side to side, tilt up. Tina Tilton. That's what my name.
There it is. Tina tilting her head. But you know something, that makes me feel good that yes, I am out in these streets with my earmuffs. Yes, the children's style earmuffs. I am going to see if I can find those new fancy ones. But I got the old school, like going to the school bus with earmuffs on, because the wind is very tricky, even on these warmer days, because it's still cold in the air, as old folks.
Obviously, yeah, and it got me. I was still trying to be cute. I should have worn my earmuffs. I had them in my pocket, but I didn't wear. Maybe they couldn't fit over my Kroger wig. I don't know.
It will fit over that Kroger wig. Trust me, it will fit over the. I'm glad that you're feeling better, and I do know that part of our Friday. Now, my Friday would kick off with shout out to Anton Dandridge. He's been helping me as far as like business coaching, really more like a friend who's got major skill in production management, because he is not, really, he's like, "Hey, I'm just going to give you some pointers." So, he's showing me love. But let me tell you, we started things off, and then I actually had, because I'm trying to find a virtual marketing assistant. And, on Instagram and Facebook, they constantly selling you different things. And there's this one, I don't know if you ever seen it, called You Need a Doer. I finally filled in the form after 2 years of seeing that thing pop up on my social media feeds, and took that call. And when I tell you, when I find out first of all, it's very economical, hourly so, but they want a 3 to 6 pay out. I mean, like pay up before you hire a person. But then when Tina, when they said that they're people that they're using for the virtual marketing assistant, no shade, because our whole country of immigrants, but they actually outsourced to the Philippines. And I started thinking, once I got off the call, first monthly, which is doable really if you're having a full-time person work for you. But then I'm thinking, I know people would love to get paid the Philippine price. You see what I'm saying? It's like,
sure.
It's like, this is part of, and I know you know this because you already have Melina with you as someone who assists you in your business, and able to support our own, and as Black-owned women in business, to understand the importance of hiring within in. And so I was like, no, even if it's, because I do want to support the fight for 15. Like, even if I have to go up a little bit more to hire someone locally, I'm going to do that once I get to that place. But it was a very interesting phone call, how the United States of America and how we do business in America is so much outsourcing. And with the virtual assistants, they outsource the virtual assistants to a whole nother country. But let me say this, one reason they it is that they have some of the highest graduation rates, and they have high proficient English almost to 100%. So they are getting well educated in the South Pacific, baby. Okay.
Okay.
But I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and fight for 15, and as I grow, be able to hire here within, but definitely here in the city of Memphis. So I am looking for a virtual marketing assistant. If somebody want to start, part-time, because I can't afford full-time yet, I am looking for a virtual. Well, Tina, you and I are both looking for a virtual marketing assistant.
Oh, that's what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah. That's right.
Somebody to market all of this amazingness that we're doing, from Christie Taylor Consulting to the Podcast Center, Taylor Tilton shows, to our Taylor Tilton Hour, to Bumpin' 96.3 FM. I mean, all the things we're doing, we need someone to really take over our marketing, not just digital marketing, but the overall, marketing campaigns and all. Wow, that was exhausting, but it was going back to her tilting her ear. By the time I wrapped my day and I headed downtown to Bubbles and Bistro, to Bubbles and Bosses.
Bougie Bistro.
At the Bougie Bistro. Shout out to Johnny Walker, founder of NAM Film. And thank you, Tina. We are now once again renewed members. Actually, were you one of the original members when she started it years ago, Memphis?
I think we were.
I think I was.
Yeah.
I have to ask Johnny, because I used to even have a card, a membership card. So so
because we remember we met at the hotel at that time, at the there was an event that she held, wasn't it? I see the hotel, but I can't think of the name of it. But I believe that's where she kicked it off, and we all became members.
Yes, way back in the day. And here it is, 2023. She is looking to create a resurgence of the Memphis chapter, because they're all over Toronto and over in Africa. But she said she really wants to make sure that Memphis becomes strong again in the national look of things. So super excited. We had Bubbles and Bistro, me sipping champagne and talking to bosses. And Tina, what was your take on everything?
Well, you know what? First of all, you did an amazing job as a host. Not that I expected anything less of you, Christy, but just being there and seeing you. As a matter of fact, I was lost, you guys. I didn't know where it was. I had circled the place like 3 times. And then I said, this has to be the place, because GPS is leading me right here. And I happened to look to my right, and I saw this wig through these curtains. And I said, that looks like Christie Taylor's hair. I said, this is it. There's got to be it. So I just found myself a parking space, put my blinkers on in the no parking zone, and just sashayed myself right on in that building. And I was right. I'm like, that is you. That's your hair.
That was the look of the night. That was the look of the night. You all could go to my social media to see that look of the night. And thank you, Tina. I'm glad that my hair was able to point you in the right direction. Thank you.
I know that's right. Thank you, Samson. This was great. I found you. I called you Samson.
Let me tell you, I had a wonderful time with Cynthia Perkins, who is an award-winning photojournalist at Fox 13. Also, Arnett Williams, who is the executive director of Memphis Black Arts Alliance. And I found out that night that she was in the Broadway touring of Dreamgirls. Never knew that all these years. And one of Memphis's own was in the Broadway touring company of Dreamgirls all those years ago. Also had a chance to talk to attorney also an executive director of On Location Memphis. But one of the joys for me this past Friday was being able to talk to the boss, Tracy Bethea. Now, of course, we work together from 990 The Light WFM. Hey, good morning, Juanita. Oh, what, girl? Juanita Daniels.
Hi.
Oh
Good
my
morning.
God. First of all, she's taking me back too, because when I first started my Living Life seminars years ago, which I need to allowed me to come into her home and do a private lecture with some of her close friends. I just remember that. So shout out to you, Miss Daniels. Let me tell you, so Tracy Bethea, not only we've been knowing each other since the 1990s, look, 1991 until now. Just recently, she was this past week promoted, in addition to being the program director for 95.7 Hallelujah FM under iHeart. She is now the first woman to ever become the program director of the legendary WDIA 1070 AM, which was a full circle moment for her because she started in radio at 9 on WDIA. That was like massive to me.
Yeah, I heard her say that on stage, and I was like, 19? You weren't even 21 years old yet. And now you're right, Christie, a full circle. She's right back where she is supposed to be in the first place. Yeah.
And the thing is that it's historic because out of the 50 plus years that WDIA has, being one of the first Black formatted radio station in the world, to now have exactly, congratulations, Tracy Bethea. So proud of her too, Juanita, to be able to say that she is the first woman ever helm that station. Wow, that's amazing. So it really felt good, and thank you for giving me compliments on how I'm moderated. And
oh, you're welcome. Now, typically they say that the compliments are to be what's the word? Doggone Tina, not shared, but
accepted. Like I accept mine.
No, just long story short, Christie Taylor and Tracy Bethea and all her panel, they did not give me any compliments. I was hungry.
Wait, okay. Number one, lady, I am purposely interrupting. Okay, let me sip some more cayenne pepper orange juice. Hold 1 second, ladies and gentlemen.
Go on, sip. See, while you sip, I should be telling, because we got there, we were all hungry, right? And Christie and her panelists, they had to go on stage, and I was still at the table because I was not a speaker. And I sat there and I saw that menu and I said, "Ooh, this lady had some hot wings and some French fries that was next to me. I did not need them, but I wanted them because they looked so good." And honestly, they were good. So big shout outs to the cook at the Bougie Bistro, because the food is good. And when those ladies went on stage, I was so intrigued, but yet and still, I was eating my food and I was so hungry, and it was delicious. And then they attacked me. When they got off stage, they attacked me. Go on, tell them about the attacks. I'm going to stop right there.
I thought you were going to give the full story, because what we saw from the stage is that, number one, while we were sipping the prior to being at 6 o'clock brought to the stage by the founder, Johnny Walker, they gave us some hors d'oeuvres, like, and little trinkets type food. Okay. So as soon as we rose from the table, now Tina discovers the menu. Huh? Is that what happens? Now you discover the menu. You were at the same table, able to eat those crackers and cheese. But now she's ordering what looked like to us from the stage some of the most delicious wings in the world, because when I tell you we were hungry.
I know, yes, we were. I hadn't eaten lunch that day either, though. I had breakfast, but I did not have lunch. But I told everyone at that table, I said, I'm hungry, so I may get something off of this menu. And I was going to go with the little salad and the chicken salad or whatever. But I said, when I looked to the left, and that lady had those honey gold wings and those French fries. I said, ma'am, excuse me, can I change because I did order that. I said, excuse me, ma'am, can I change my menu? My item. And she said, oh, well, yes, ma'am. I said, seriously, if it's too much of trouble, I'm not, I'll keep it. But if your cook can stop whoever's in the kitchen, if they cannot make that salad, I'd rather have those 3 honey gold wings and fries. And she said yes. And they were so piping hot when they came to the table. Oh my gosh, they were just delicious. But the hors d'oeuvres that were there,
them, which explains, I guess, why she was eating them so ever as we were starving on stage. That's all I'm saying. By the time we wrapped up, the attack simply was like, literally, did you have to? She was eating like you doing commercials with the slow motion. That's what it looked like to us. And Tracy said, even the way she ate the French fries.
Yes,
that is
but they were hot. So yes, that would explain why, because my family knows I'm pretty much the first to finish my plate, period. Everybody else be at the table talking. I'm like, I ain't talking. I'm finna eat. I'm hungry. So I am 9 times out of 10 the first to finish eating at the dinner table. But that food right there was so hot, I could not, with heat, that is, and that was a good thing. That told me that, the cook had just prepared it and they laid out the beautiful spread just for me. And I ate it.
Oh my goodness. Well, shout out to Bougie Bistro for the delicious food that Tina had we were being bosses on stage. So shout out to Bougie Bistro. And, I believe we will be doing future bubbles in bistros, and it is open to women in any industry, not just the music and entertainment or media. So be sure to watch our pages. If we're sharing this is definitely something I think that you would enjoy. And one of the highlights of the evening for me for Friday in this What a Weekend was one young lady surprised her mom by giving her a tribute, because I believe the mom had been in a male-dominated industry for like 20 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to celebrate her as a literal boss. And that was really, really cool. And one of the beautiful things I like about that is how we are able to celebrate each other peer to peer. But it also was amazing for a daughter to say such amazing words about her mom and how she's moving in her industry. So I thought that was really good. So other than Tina eating food in slow motion while we were starving on stage, it was a really great night. It was good seeing everybody, because a lot of people I haven't seen since the pandemic. And I definitely told Tina them that, this is an opportunity for us just to get together more often. So super excited about that. So that's part of the kickoff to our weekend. And lo and behold, Saturday rolled around.
Saturday came. And I must say this, big shout outs to Lit Lovely Lisa, who is one of the podcasters or radio personalities on Bumpin' 96.3 FM Memphis. She and we attempted, and I'm gonna tread this story lightly because I'm gonna shed more information on it when I do my word up section. But she and I attempted to go to Gangsta Boo's funeral this past Saturday. Her homegoing was at Brown Missionary Baptist Church in Mississippi. Is it South Haven or where?
South Haven. That's South Haven.
Okay, in South Haven. Yeah. And so she and I, again, the word is attempted. We attempted to make that. But we were unsuccessful. But I'll share more of that information later. So we just headed on back to the podcast center and went to podcast training class with Christie. We joined Christie at her podcast orientation class.
First of all, good morning, Anita Jones, which is Mama.
Hi, Mom. Good morning. Hey, Mommy.
Yes. So I was actually surprised because Tina had texted me, be there early, because I tend to get there because I know she's there at 10 something. And class doesn't start till 12. So I do tend to, linger and take my time. But since she texts me, be early, I tried to be there by 11:30. That's what she told me. I got there at 8:45-ish. So I still was earlier than I normally was. Okay, so
8:45. If you said 8, you mean 11:45.
11:45-ish. 11:45-ish. I was 11:45-ish. So even though I was supposed to be there 11:30, I did get there before noon. And, so when they walked in as I was starting class, I was like, wait a minute, but they also had a chance to, while I was teaching class, to do the continuation of last week's podcast adventures of pretty much testing out some new microphones. So if you all want to, let me go ahead and pause. This is being brought to you by Christie Taylor Consulting, the Podcast Center. And the Podcast Center is a full service audio and visual production studio, and they have definitely been putting things in place. So if you want to create an amazing podcast or a YouTube show or even a television show or radio show, I want to encourage you all to go to the Podcast Center because Tina Tilton is taking it to the next level. And of course, she does trust me to teach her classes at the Podcast Center, and I have fun doing it. And I was so geeked because she has the new HDMI course, so I could actually put my share my information on television, so the class could see it. And that really was, it took it up a notch for me. Thank you. And
You're
so
welcome.
by the time we finished the class, which was really good, and I got a testimonial from Conrad, who's going to be on as he prepares his show for Drake 96.1 FM. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so let me shout Tina out again. What's happening is she has partnered, the Podcast Center has partnered with Flynn Broadcasting, and I teach classes from Christie Taylor Consulting for those who are interested to have a 1-hour radio show on one of the 4 Flynn Broadcasting stations, including Bumpin' 96.3 FM, which we've been doing since October. Also now adding Q107.5. Sports 56 and Drake 96.1. So it's really, really cool to be able to see people who used to just listen to radio come to a class, and I give them basically 30 plus years of information in 3 to 4 hours. And they walk away feeling confident that, yes, I can do this. I can create a 1-hour show. So shout out to Tina on that. So that was but after we finished class, we chatted for a while.
We ain't chat. They spazzed me out. Christie and Lit Lovely Lisa pulled up all this different furniture on Pinterest and all these websites, and I said, "Oh, it's very pretty." And then Christie says, "Okay, so we need to get this and get this and get that," and I'm standing there like, what in the world? Now, the Podcast Center, we are a swank little spot currently. I don't know. I'm not good with square feet, so I can't tell you, it's approximately 1,000 square feet. I don't know. I know we have enough space.
It's a 2-room space. Yes. Correct.
I know we have enough space currently to do what needs to be done to be done. So they proceeded to show me this equipment and this new furniture that we should consider getting. But it was a lot of furniture. So I'm standing there with my eyes bucked like a deer in headlight going, where in the world are we going to put this furniture? And then they said,
let me set it up, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, go ahead, set it up. Because y'all scared me. I said, what we doing with this? Go on.
Tina is truly, she has already told me from day one when I went over to the podcast in 2020, it was 2020. And I moved some things around then. She said, I'm not good with, all this interior design stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
So when it comes to me and Lit Lovely Lisa talking about all the ways we could create all these new sets and how we can have artwork and have the greenery and the photo sessions. And she's looking at us. Wait a minute. It's 9:30. So I'm officially waking up, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Taylor Tilton Show. Christie Taylor is officially awake.
Great. Proceed then. Because I want to hear your angle.
The Taylor Tilton Show is brought to you by Christie Taylor Consulting at the Podcast Center, and Tina will give you all more information after I tell you all that she literally was looking at us like, what are y'all talking about? Like all of this furniture you're showing me, because I've created an entire Pinterest board. Yes, I did. You know how you have the secret Pinterest
you see, I'm not telling y'all a story then, right? I'm trying to tell you. You sure did.
And I have pinned a lot of things that I think are going to be amazing for the Podcast Center because I do love interior design. And in my future life, maybe I will even be an interior designer and a culinary artist, things that I struggle with now. But anyway, but the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, I pinned a lot of stuff, but it's not just for today's Podcast Center. I'm thinking about the Podcast Center that's going to be here a year or 2 years from now. That's going to be a big production facility. So,
and while that was fine, I said, but what are we going to do today with what we have? That's all I was saying, because when I saw all of this furniture, I'm okay with the big production studio that we're going to acquire. I get that. And I'm all 2 thumbs up with that. But I was just like, well, but what do we do today? Well, what do we get today? I don't so that we could grow to get that big facility. I was stunned. I didn't get it.
And I wish you all could have seen her face. We were like, oh, we can do this and we can do that. And you was like, where is it going to go?
I was for real.
boy.
These ladies done lost their minds. I know I'm not good at this, but my God.
We did move some more things around because that's a continuation of last Saturday when we moved some things around. And once we opened the space up some more, and I said, no, we're not going to put all the furniture. And if by chance we have more furniture than we need, we can stage it like a furniture store. Have you ever been to a furniture store and you got all this furniture? But it's the staging. So it still will be cute when a person walks in and they can have their options of what they want their set to look like. And you could just move the furniture into the AV room from the front room, the staging room. Do y'all see what I'm talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, are y'all with me?
I am now. And that's when my eyes began to open because at first I did not know where you were going to put all that. I just saw a whole stack of furniture in the front while people walked in, and then the back is going to be pretty. And that's all I saw. But when you said staging, excuse me, I just took a bite of oatmeal. When you said staging like a furniture store, then that brought more clarity to my vision, to the vision that you have, not my vision, but just okay, I see now. I see. Okay, keep talking. I was like, okay, keep talking, proceed. So
I'm glad because she was kind of a little taken aback, and then of course, thanks to lovely Lisa, she trying to bling us out, Lord Jesus.
Oh yeah. But at the end of the day, between the three of us, I can honestly say that we came up with some really good ideas and suggestions, and we're going to act on those things. And this time next month, it will be a totally different look. The podcast center will have a different look.
Okay, I need to go shopping with you though.
Oh, now you can shop completely. I told you. Don't shop.
Good morning, Joe. Okay, now I do want to make a moment to take a second to acknowledge everybody who's in the room with us. Feel free to give a shout out. We want to definitely show you some love. We really appreciate everybody showing us love every Tuesday. This is a Taylor Tilton Tuesday. You are inside the Taylor Tilton Show. That is brought to you by, take it away, Tina.
ChristieTaylorConsulting.com and the Podcast Center, Memphis.com. 2 websites.
That's right. And if you want to learn more about us, go to TaylorTilton.com. That's TaylorTilton.com. I love it. Okay, so between all of those things, by the time we made it to Sunday, after the full Saturday, full Saturday, and then I creep into Saturday. Okay, wait, let me get my schedule together. So it was Friday, Saturday. Oh yeah, this.
A full Friday, a full Saturday, and then Sunday came. Now Sunday, we were scheduled to be at Memblink's for Gary's birthday party. Many of you all know Gary. He's a famous photographer here in Memphis. And I forget what Christie's reason for not being able to make it, but I didn't have a sitter. And I did tell Gary, I had to text him the bad news. I said, we can't make it. I don't have a sitter and I have the equipment. So chances are Christie is not going to come because we were going to go live from his birthday party, but we were unable to make it. I'm sorry, Gary. So let me tell you what happened with that. My daddy brought my child home early. He said she fell on the playground and she wanted to come and she hurt her tailbone. That was what they told me. And she wanted to come home. And I'm looking at him like, but I got somewhere to be.
Oh.
Baby wanted to be home with her mommy. And I said, okay, baby, you hurt your tailbone. Show mommy where it hurts. Do you know this child showed me under her left arm? I said, that's not a tailbone. That's your side.
Okay. Wait a minute. We need to start anatomy class a little earlier in the educational system.
I'm trying to tell you, because all they kept saying to me was tailbone, tailbone. So when my dad left, she was still on the fact that, okay, mommy, I hurt my tailbone. What did you do? I went down this slide, and because he took her to a park, and she rode the slide, but the slide didn't have any any tire, rubbery pieces, nothing to catch a child in the event that they fell on their hind parts. And that's what Olivia did. She fell on her hind parts on the gravel, on the darn concrete after she slid down the slide. So she got a little upset and cried, and my daddy says she hurt her tailbone. But when she got home, it was not her
so
tailbone.
basically, he assumed since she slid down that that her tush hit the
Mhm.
concrete or the gravel or whatever. First of all, this one of these books? I ain't gonna talk about y'all in these parks. Who still got gravel at the end of a slide? Who still does that?
I don't know.
It's
And
supposed
that's
to
what
be
I was wondering
grass.
too. I didn't
Or
ask him where. I know. You're right. I didn't ask him which park he took her to, but whatever it was, it's not child friendly at all. And that was disturbing. I couldn't believe that hardly either. But yeah, my child fell and hurt herself. And
But
she
it
came
it
home.
wasn't her tailbone, it was under her arm. So then she
That was
must have
her
fell
left
on
arm.
this. So
Yeah,
please tell me you educated our baby girl.
I did. I said, baby, your tailbone is right here by your bottom. This is your side. And I was very southern with it. Your side. This is your side. My
Well,
goodness.
needless to say,
But I
as
had
a
to tend to
result of
her.
that, and then therefore you didn't have a sitter, you have the equipment, and I definitely wasn't going to show up. So I did take it upon myself because I was like, I had such a full weekend and kind of stayed up a little late doing some other things.
Mhm.
And because I knew I had that event, and also I had a writing session. I have a friend of mine who I've written a movie script with, and we've been from time to time, every Sunday we'll try to get together and touch bases. So I had awakened early, trying to get some other things done so I could be ready for that writing session and be ready for Mem Blink's networking event and birthday party. Shout out once again to Gary. Happy belated birthday. But when two things happened, my writer, Sheila Bell, she lives in Colorado. I reached out to her and say, hey, how late can we do this? Because I'm thinking I need to take a nap and then get up and do that and then get dressed for the event. So she was like, I was just about to call you because she had a full weekend and had been up doing some editing. And she was like, can we just do it later in the week? I'm like, cool. So I mean, like, oh, we a full nap. So then, of course, by that time, I ended up with a full rest day. So praise God that I had a Sabbath day. Oh,
Look
my
at you.
God. Okay,
Okay.
Joel. Hold on. Joel is a new one. Joel, how do you pronounce your name, sweetie? Is it Joel? I'm interested in this show. I will friend you too to watch. Okay. Oh, please invite all your friends. And let me tell you something. If you go to taylortilton.com, you can get into all things Christie Taylor and Tina Tilton. We are a lot going on, but we do like coming on here. For those who kind of new to us, we have been in radio and television a long time. And this was Tina's idea to do a podcast so that we can share more of our personalities beyond the mic and beyond the camera. So, Joe, thank you, honey. Where are you from?
Thank you. That's a good question. Well, I'm sure she'll respond. So again, and like Christy said, thanks to all of you who check in with us.
Yeah.
Weekly. Weekly.
And Cordy Garcia, he's kind of quiet today, so he must be actually working because oftentimes he is like,
yeah, you're right.
He's listening for work and he's like agitating us. So he must be working for real today and not just, halfway working.
Let me ask you this, Christy. How did you celebrate your MLK Jr. Day? Most people had a day off, including me or us. So how did you celebrate?
Corey Garcia just said, yes, I'm in the office today. I'm sorry, Tina. He said, yes, I'm in the office today.
Yeah,
that's why he's quiet. That's why he's quiet.
Yeah, Corey got to catch up from yesterday. Yesterday his office was probably closed, so he got work to do. Go do your work, Corey. Catch up.
That's right.
Today's Tuesday.
That's right. Okay, so MLK Day for me, Martin Luther King, it started off with a lot of ease because I'm like, well, since I had a full Sabbath on Sunday, and let me just kind of ease my way into the week. Now, I really did think I was going to be still a little overwhelmed because I got a full week and I kept moving things around. Oh, she's from Ghana. Joelle is from Ghana. Well, welcome, girl. We international.
Wow,
We're international, sweetie.
wow.
We is
Great.
worldwide. We is
Yes,
worldwide.
we is. I hear. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Corey has a correction. He said, I worked yesterday.
And was catching up from some last minute stuff from yesterday. Oh,
Okay.
okay. Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah, my MLK day was really low key. I actually planned to go to brunch and the restaurant get some, thank God, Stevie Wonder and all those back in the day who pushed for Martin Luther King Jr. to have a holiday. I'm really grateful
National
for that.
holiday. Yeah.
That here in Memphis that we really do as a city really respect that holiday. So there are a lot of closings. It's a very quiet day. But once you go downtown, you see, oh yeah, here it is, because it was jam-packed in the downtown area. And I had even received a text reminding us, that FedEx sponsored MLK Day. So it was a free day for anybody who wanted to go to the Civil Rights Museum, the National Civil Rights Museum in downtown Memphis. Howsoever, once you try, if I wanted to legitly, that was my aim, I really need to go to the museum. It was so hectic and they kept rerouting you different ways. We already have a downtown where there's one way this way, one that. So when you get to a intersection and the police are telling you to go another direction, eventually it's routed me from downtown. Now, honestly, I was going out there to have brunch, ladies and gentlemen. I really was. And just to be in the energy of the day and not necessarily, but yeah, they rerouted me back to Midtown. They kept rerouting. So I was like, oh, no. Yes. Oh, all right. Now that's right. Corey said Taylor Tilton Tuesday is international. We need to put that on a t-shirt. Yes, we haven't overcome yet. Oh, Corey D. Garcia says we haven't overcome yet and still work on MLK Day. We're not gonna drop names. If you drop your company's name, you can. We're not gonna say your company's name, but we're just gonna say it's international too. Anyway, oh my goodness. Wow.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Olivia and I were in the grocery store, and so many people celebrated at the grocery store like I did. I said, I could probably take this day, use my freedom, and go buy me some food. And that's what what she and I did.
One of the beautiful things about MLK Day in Memphis, Tennessee, specifically, is that it is also a day that we call a day of service. It's a day where you really get into the community and do things. Even if you don't go to the museum and the festivities, it's a day of service to work in your community. Well, I had a day of service as well. Once I got rerouted out of downtown, my day of service turned out to be laundry.
Oh, that kind of service. So while mine was grocery shopping, yours was laundry. Okay, I got it. How many loads of clothes did you have, Christie? I know you. See, you like your stuff to pile up.
Because I did that the other week, I said, no. I had 2 loads, but then I decided, because I waited so late, to only do 1 load, because I did like a 4 or 5 load day. And I was like, I'm not doing that no more. But let me tell you, while I was in my day of service, being a good, steward of my clothing, clean clothing, I did participate by doing quite a bit of reading, and I want to give a shout out to Dr. Bernice King. I love her on Twitter. I love her on LinkedIn. Be sure to follow her on her social. And one of the things I read on one of her, I think it was a LinkedIn, is that this MLK weekend, of course, they celebrated starting on his birthday, which was Sunday, and not just Monday. Right. But there is a new rollout from the King family, and that is going to now honor Dr. Coretta Scott King. And it is a partnership that is going to really show her and how her impact in the civil rights movement, and that and as her daughter said, she was not just the widow of Dr. King, that she was the architect of the King legacy. And of course, she became a published author in her lifetime. So I was really, really excited to hear about that at this stage of, their family's history, that they are starting to, wrap their legacy around their mother. And shout out to the King family. Hey, good morning, Mike.
And you know what? Even though Olivia and I were out grocery shopping, I actually, as we were out, we played the I Have a Dream speech. So when we were in the car, getting in and out of the car, We listened to the I Have a Dream speech, and we also listened in full to the I've Been to the Mountaintop speech, of which I actually shared on my Facebook page because it was so amazing. And my daughter had an opportunity as an 8-year-old to ask me questions about different things in those speeches that she heard. She was very intrigued, and I was so grateful. It made my heart feel good because she was wanting to know what these things meant, because this is part of her heritage. This is part of her legacy as well. Even though she does not carry the King last name, this is part of who we are. Even to the point of, like King, he said over and over in, I believe, the Mountaintop speech. I don't know. It was one of them. He said Negroes quite a few times, and she didn't know what a Negro was. He said the Negroes in, Alabama, and the Negroes in such, and she, Mommy, what's a Negro? Wow. Yeah. You know what? Never even thought that my child did not know what the term Negro meant. So of course I shared it with her, and she understood after that. But so again, this tells me how attentive and intrigued that she was. So I'm grateful that those speeches are available.
Yes.
I mean, with a click of a button, just go to YouTube and type it in, and it's there in its entirety. But I ain't gonna even tell you wrong, it made me feel some kind of way about Memphis, Tennessee, and what King would be. Man, I ain't gonna get into that because it's 9:48.
Okay, well, before you get into that, I do want to say
we can't get into it. It's too long.
That's another day, and but there are 2 quotes that I posted because every year I love his quotes. First of all, I love quotes, period. That's why I write them myself and poetic speeches and stuff. But there are 2 quotes that I loved that I posted yesterday. One was, everybody can be great because everybody can serve. That's one of those Martin Luther King Jr. quotes. And another quote that I posted was, if you are seeking the highest good, I think you can find it through love. Now, that's a challenge for us, even as we are in the city of Memphis, in the state of Tennessee, in the country that is the United States of America. We still have to, as Negroes, coloreds, Afro-Americans, African-Americans, Americans, Black Americans, have to find our way through this country and through this world, through the most powerful force in the universe, which is love. And I dare to say the greatest impact of that divine love has to come from within. And I think that we're all on an individual and collective journey to self-love that's based in the divine. And when you really love yourself, you will automatically love your neighbor. Okay. Oh, we got another one. Abina Hayford, hello from Ghana. Thank you, Joelle. Recommended you to us. Oh, yeah, that is interesting. So, of course, Memphis, Tennessee has a long history with Dr. Martin Luther King. It is seared into our conscious history here.
Yes, it is.
But I'm grateful that we are continuing to find ways to right those wrongs. And may we, those of us who are citizens of this great city, will continue to do the work inwardly and outwardly in our communities to make sure that no one is left behind and that everyone can be great, because truly we all can serve. So
speaking of great, I want to say a big shout out to those Memphis Grizzlies, because they were great yesterday, honey. They won. Yes, they won. I cannot remember the score, but nonetheless, I believe, matter of fact, congratulations to them, because this is their 10th straight win, and I believe they made history with the NBA of being the team that had the most, like 10 wins in a row. We made history on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s day and them playing on that day. So that made me feel good that made me feel good as a city. I said, all right, God still got his hand on this city. Okay, this is good.
Oh, yes.
This is good. So again, congratulations to those Memphis Grizzlies. And my husband is a Dallas Cowboys fan as well. And I know they are Dallas, but congratulations to them too, because they won. So my husband had a good night. He went to bed on cloud 9. I tell you that. Well, I had to put some eardrops in my ear, but he went to bed on cloud 9. I was like, what you say? You know, I got drops in my ear.
Well, Tina, I will say this. Congratulations to the Grizzlies and the Cowboys. And I'm gonna segue very quickly before you do your word up.
Yes,
One
I
thing
got
you all
word
don't,
up.
what you don't know about me, what you don't know about me is going to be tied to the Grizzlies. When the Grizzlies first came here, I was one of the radio personalities that auditioned to be a announcer. You know how they held those auditions and everybody be
Yes.
like, and while I did not win, of course, because I couldn't call not one play, they did allow.
She gonna audition.
I auditioned even though I don't know the sport well enough to call the plays.
Okay.
But as a result of auditioning and being one of the finalists, and I said they did that probably off of, just saying they said they had a woman in the finals. But I did have a chance that first season to do in arena announcing on one of their women's days. So that's what y'all don't know about me. Then yes, I was a Grizzly announcer for Women's Day first season.
Okay. All right. And getting to know Tina Tilton, as I was trying to exercise the other day, I realized I have two left feet. I remembered. I said I cannot dance. There's a specific game that you have to do. You got to step to the rhythm of the beat. Lord have mercy, I was just as off as ever said. Poor. It gave me 1 star out of 5. It told me I needed to improve. I said, I know. I cannot dance. I couldn't keep up for nothing. For me, growing up, I was a cheerleader. So cheerleaders, we don't really have to dance. We just kind of jump and hop around and yay, kick. I could do that. But dancing is not my thing, and it's still not. So Tina Tilton is not a very good dancer. I do not have rhythm much at all, and it's okay. But
we're gonna learn how to do those dances because apparently you and I, once again, great reasons for us to be friends. Shout out to you, Sandra Wilson. She said the Grizzlies won over the Suns with 136 to 106. Abina Hayford, thank you for checking us out in Ghana, taking her leave. So maybe another time. Have a great day as well. Blessings to everybody listening around the world. Be sure to check out Taylor Tilton at taylortilton.com. That's taylortilton.com. All right.
And now it's time for me to go word up. Okay, so earlier I told you on my Saturday, lovely Lisa and I, we attempted, I'm going to say that word again, to attend Gangsta Boo's funeral or homegoing. But, okay, Mr. Dale and LaChat, they are dear friends of mine. I contacted them to make sure that, where the arrangements, what are the arrangements? I didn't know. And because my sister said that, she said, I heard that you have to have tickets to go to Gangsta Boo's homegoing. And I said, oh, let me reach out to my friends. And I reached out to LaChat. She said, oh, Tina, I think so. I'm so sorry for not telling you in advance. Then Mr. Dale, I reached out to him too. He said, no, I don't think so. I think they just put that out there to gauge the number of people to expect. And I said, okay, well, one of them's right and one of them's wrong. But nonetheless, I am going to go there, pay my respects to Gangsta Boo, and just see what happens. But when we got there, we got turned around 3 times. I'm gonna tell you that. We ended up blocking traffic. The security officer was like, you can't stay right here. And I understood him because the crowd was steady coming. And I at one point, Christie, I even tried to prove who I was because honestly, LaChat was correct. You did have to have tickets to attend Gangsta Boo's homecoming at Brown Missionary Baptist Church this past Saturday. So after 3 times, I went back around. I said, I don't have tickets. And he said, one of them said, well, call your person and see if they can get you tickets. Of course, I called Mr. Dale. I called LaChat. They were not available at the time. And after circling 3 times, I said, you know what I'll do? I'll pull up my Facebook page and show him the interview that I did with Gangsta Boo. And I did that, but that was not enough for the security said, I told you need a ticket. And I honestly, I did get a little disappointed because I still had not heard from Mr. Dale. There was no response from Mr. Dale, no response for LaChat. So we had to leave. So I say all that to say my word up message for you all today is don't leave earth without your ticket to heaven. Because at the end of the day, The Bible gonna tell us. It tells us something about like the pearly gates. Like when we get there, when we approach it, Jesus gonna be like, either come on in this house, or he gonna be like, depart from me, I don't even know who you are. And I believe that's found in Matthew 7. Yeah, chapter 7, Matthew chapter 7. So if you want to be welcomed and celebrated and receive your crown, which is in Revelation, I need y'all to go get your receipt. Go reserve your seat now. Get your ticket to heaven. And don't be like me, folks, I'm trying to prove that I am who I am, and I still couldn't get in. And it made me think, ooh, let's not do this when we get to heaven. Let's be sure. Go get your ticket. Go get your crown. That's all I got to say. That's my word up. Word up.
Word up.
Word up. 9:57. Who you got for today's guest, Christie?
Well, all right, then I have Corey Garcia said, yes, make your reservation. I also have, is this Adania? Oh, we got to learn. She's from Ghana. A friend of Joel recommended us. Thank you all so much for checking us out from Ghana. We actually have some friends who go to Ghana to do films all the time. So maybe we can start crossing the Atlantic as well. So who do I have? I have Melissa Hughes. She is my multimillionaire who has some great financial news. And then coming up next week, I've got a new guest. Her name is Nakia Booker, who is a cultural advocate. And for you today, who do you have, Tina?
I have Marie Pisano. She is a filmmaker. She is especially she does documentaries, and she does a lot of Black documentaries, but she's not Black. She's actually Italian. But she's got some films that she's creating, or I believe they're at the Malcolm Paradiso right now. Forgive me for, I'm trying to go off the hip, but she is today's guest. She is an amazing, amazing. She is definitely someone that we'll need to partner up with very, very soon. So check us out today on Tina Tilton's The Blend, Channel 31 Memphis, 10:30 a.m.
And in the wrap up, I do want to say once again that the Taylor Tilton Show is a part of the Taylor Tilton Hour. It is a prelude to our television shows.
Kennedy, be quiet, Kennedy.
Now there is
Lord have mercy. Okay. My husband opened the door, so of course she's gonna bark because she's in attack mode now. That was not smart.
Kennedy, I just want to say this before we go: that the Taylor Tilton Show, which is a part of the Taylor Tilton brand, is a prelude to the Taylor Tilton Hour with the Christie Taylor Show, as well as Tina Tilton's The Blend. You can learn all about us at TaylorTilton.com. That's TaylorTilton.com. And this show is brought to you by Christie Taylor Consultant. I am a full service communication and PR agency with specializations in voice work, also script consultant, as well as podcast development. And once I help you develop your podcast, you're going to go over to the Podcast Center, which is a full service audio and video production studio in Bartlett, Tennessee, right in the suburbs of Memphis. And let me tell you something, you can find out more about that. Once again, go to the Podcast Center, Memphis.com. And of course, if you love us, feel free to show us support. Our Cash Apps are on the screen. And of course, most of all, just follow us at TaylorTilton.com. Anything else for us today?
Nope. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless. Good night.
Good night.